I'm here with Noah from Rooted Tree Works. He's 2 years in business in the Twin Cities. He's on track to do 600,000 this year with 3 employees, a man of God, a family man with a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Okay, today my goal is to find out more about you, your story, and how you got to, owning the tree business. B, talk about probably the lessons that you've learned to get to the point that you're at with the employees, the equipment, and the revenue number and the profit that you have. And then C, really just talk about anything else that you think is important when it comes to the business, the tree industry, or in general, the trades.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah, it's great.
So talk to me about, you own a tree business. What does that tree business do in revenue? How many employees do you have? And where are you at in your journey?
Yeah. So I have 3 full-time guys. Last year we did, I had 2 full-time guys last year. We did about 350. This year, I think we'll be probably ending between 600 and 650, I would say, with the 3 full-time guys. Profit margin is for sure better than what it was last year, probably double what we were at last year for margin. And yeah, I mean, just learning kind of more of the ins and outs of the business through BCBA has been huge in getting us to that point.
What got you started in the trades in the first place?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm 28
Okay.
and I went out and got my first job when I was 13 at a farm. And so my first job was picking rocks out of cornfields and bean fields for $7 an hour. That was my first job.
A lot of Midwest guys can relate to that.
Yep.
Rock picking.
Yep. So that was my first job. Then I started milking cows. So I was in the dairy industry for a while. Then I started hay farming. Then I actually went to trade school for welding, and I welded for a number of years. And then around 2020 was when I've kind of always had an interest in the tree industry. I just grew up like cutting firewood and stuff with my dad and my brother, and was like, man, I don't know, who knows how many more opportunities I'll have to learn something new. And so I just called the nearest tree service and was like, hey, I'll show up on time, work hard.
Okay, I actually have a question before that.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you went to trade school for welding?
So it was straight out of high school. So I was 18.
And what was your thought process there? Like, why welding?
I loved the art of welding. So there's a level, and specifically the lane that I was in was TIG welding. So I was welding like multi-million-dollar food processing systems for like Coca-Cola, Muscle Milk. And so I was welding on stainless steel pipe and tube. And so it was like, you got to really know what you're doing. We're not just like slapping stuff together, And so I just loved it, kind of meshed, being in the trades and working with my hands, as well as like doing something that takes a legitimate amount of skill.
And how long did you weld?
So I went to school for 2 years. It was a 2-year program. And then I welded for like as a career for like 2.5 years after that.
What were you making when you were welding?
So I made out of school. So I was 19 years old and I was making a little over 20 an hour, which was, that was in 2017, 2018. And I remember that was definitely on the upper end of what most welding students were making, like coming out of school.
And you told me you just said you made a shift. Like, all right, I got to try something.
Yeah.
When you were welding, like, did you just not like the pay? Did you go, I want to do something for myself? And what really, like, what switch flipped in your head to go, I'm gonna start my own shit?
Yeah. Yeah. So funny enough, I actually, my story kind of like bops around. So I actually went to Africa and welded for a while there, for a few months. Myself and a few others started a nonprofit and we did some welding in Africa. I actually thought I was going to be in ministry for the rest of my life when I came back from Africa. And so when I came back, um, felt like kind of this in between. And I was like, man, this might be my last opportunity to learn something new, like learn a new trade professionally. And so the tree industry was the one other thing that like had piqued my interest, and so I was like, I'm just gonna go for it, and I ended up loving it. I still love welding. I didn't have anything that I didn't like about welding, but I ended up loving tree work more.
Why not start a welding business?
I was welding on the side. I was working like 10, 11-hour days at my day job welding, and then I was doing side jobs welding as well. Um, and like I said, I loved it and didn't really have plans to stop until, it's just like, man, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? And when I came back, it was like, all right.
And you said, talk to me about how you got started in the tree business. You said you called somebody
Yeah, so I literally called the nearest, I looked up
near me on
tree
Google.
service near me on Google, found the closest one, and I called them and I said, hey, I've been working in the trades since I was 13. I don't do drugs, I don't drink, and I show up early. And they hired me that day.
And how long did you work for them before starting your own?
So I worked for them for about a year, worked for a second company for another year. Then I started my company in 2022. But really, I didn't start it until 24 because I actually was on staff at my church for a year of 2023. And so it wasn't until after that that I really started doing actually my own jobs, because in 2023 I was just contracting for the company I'd already been working for.
And what made you decide to go out on your own versus stay with that tree company?
Mhm. Um, I just think there's just always been something in me that wants to, like, I wanna start something. It's like I believe, not that everybody else is doing it wrong, but I believe there's a way that, I can do it that will not only allow me some additional freedom and not have to answer to somebody else, but to also be able to treat employees the way that I think employees should be treated and things like that.
I think there's like a delusional self-belief in yourself as an entrepreneur that not saying you're better than anybody, but to be an entrepreneur, you have to have
Yeah,
belief that you are better than everybody, that you're going to be the best guy for the job,
for sure.
that you can, treat people better, you can treat homeowners better. I think everybody has that.
For
I don't
sure.
really think it makes you a bad person. I think that's what makes you an entrepreneur in the first
For
place.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you started your business. What were you thinking when you started? Like, what was like the first or second job that you took on your own? What
Mhm.
went through your head?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember, when you came out to do some video on a project we did recently, I was, like, thinking back to some of these first moments, and I remember kind of, like, what I remember when I think about first starting was I did 2 jobs that added up to $2,000 in one day, and I was like, I
This
thought,
is it.
"This is it.
I've arrived.
I have struck gold," and, it's like, it's funny how now it's like, well, we gotta hit that as an absolute
Yeah, that's
minimum
like a break
to,
even for the
yeah,
company.
yep, yep,
Insurance, overhead,
yep,
everybody's gotta get paid.
yep.
Yeah.
And so, but man, that's how we started. Just started with a chainsaw and my climbing gear out of the back of my truck and just contracting other people, and slowly over time buying my own equipment, started hiring guys, that kind of thing.
What is like, the average job for you right now, and what was the average job back then?
As far as like ticket price,
Yeah, yeah, just
yeah,
like, what are you doing? I'm not a tree
yeah,
guy at heart.
yeah,
Most people know
yeah.
this. Like, $10,000 big oak tree or,
Hmm.
like, you trimming some bushes?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It varies. So, I mean, back then it was like, you know, most jobs when I very first started were under $1,000. You don't know your value. You don't know how to do anything. It's just like, if I can make a buck, then I'll make a buck. Everything feels like profit, even though it's
It's
not.
not.
Um, and so, when we first started, almost everything I would say was like $3,000 and under. Now I would say, you know, average ticket, I mean, our minimum, we're not going to show up to a job site for less than $500. That's the absolute minimum, even if we're there for 10 minutes. Just the time
Why
it
is
takes.
that?
The time it takes for our crew to drive there, do whatever we're going to do, even if it's 10 minutes, chip it up, pack stuff up, and drive away. That's about what it's gonna cost me to do that. And so that's our absolute minimum, and we're willing to do it for that price because it helps expand our client base too. It's like, even if it's only $500, I know that that's a potential referral that can come through them. And so, um, but now I would say, average ticket is probably more so around like $3,500 now. Um, there's still for sure lower ticket, but our higher ticket prices have gone exponentially higher.
What do you think makes the biggest difference in like the growth of the business over time? Like what
People,
makes a successful entrepreneur in business?
yeah. I would say people and systems. I think the people that you hire that are working with you, if you treat them right, they'll treat you right. And there are people out there that actually want to help you build the business that you're trying to build, even if you're early on. And I think a fear that a lot of business owners have is like, if you get a good guy, and it's not that this doesn't happen, but it's that if you get a good guy, he's just going to go out and start his own thing. But not everybody wants to be a business owner and wants to deal with all the headache. And so if you can find the people that enjoy the process of building your business with you, but they don't have interest in starting one themselves, is like a gold mine. And then getting systems of uh you know, client pipeline. So how are you getting everybody to the same spot so that everything is organized as far as who do you need to give a quote to, who have you given a quote to, so you know how to follow up, all of that, as well as how are you getting reviews and how are you engaging with your clients through the whole process. Getting those systems set changes everything.
And just with like your evolution as an entrepreneur, I think a lot of people struggle with the belief in themselves, honestly, to get to the next level. Like they always think it's going to go away. Like tomorrow there's going to be no jobs. We're
Mm-hmm.
going to be out of business. People are going to stop showing up to work. People are going to stop calling us.
Yeah.
Why do you have belief in yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, something that is talked about a lot in BCBA is within the trades, the bar is so unbelievably low. And I don't have this like unreasonable expectation that I'm never going to be slow again, but I'm not afraid to slow down a little bit because I know how to generate leads if I need to generate leads. It's like I always have things going in the back of my mind of like, okay, if I need to, I know I can do this to generate some work.
Yep.
Um, and seeing how low the bar is, it's like,
It's kind of
okay,
crazy.
you know what? If I just keep my head down and I keep doing the right things, I have a young business and I'm looking at what these other businesses are doing. This isn't to speak poorly of other businesses, but just the way they communicate with people, the way that they're even invoicing and things like that. It's like, man, if we keep doing things professionally and treating people well, the compounding effect is going to be ridiculous, and it's a payoff down the road.
It's actually wild where you can get to in like 2 to 5 years in the trades. If you're a good human being, you understand business and you're doing your trade correctly.
Yep.
Like it's almost inevitable.
Yep.
It's kind of wild.
Yep.
What uh what would you say your average day looks like? You know, you have 3 employees.
Mhm.
Where are you on track in revenue again?
600 or so.
Okay, so 3 employees, about to do 600K. How much of money in paid ads to get there? Zero. Nice. Okay. What does your day look like as an entrepreneur at 600K with 3 employees?
Yeah. So I would say I'm on site probably 60% of the time. So
So a little bit of a hybrid model back and
yep.
forth.
So I'm hybrid right now. And so if we're doing stuff that's either a ton of material, we need the hands, super complicated, I'm on site for that. Everything I can be off site for, I'm letting my crew lead take and letting him just continue to grow as a leader, as a tree cutter, and uh, it allows him to just become more efficient. So I'm first thing in the morning, I'm reaching out to clients, letting them know, hey, we're going to be on your property about this time. We get on site, touch base with them. We do the work, connect with them after, try to stay on top of invoicing right away. Um, and then the 40% that I'm not on site is spent doing quotes. I try to keep work as a work day and then quotes as quote days as much as possible. And so that 40% is for administrative work and setting
Doing things
quotes.
to grow the business, I'm
Yep.
assuming as well.
Yep.
Doing all the business side. That's what a lot of
Contractor reach
business
outs. Yeah.
owners, I think, forget as well. Like, you run a small business, like you need to do business. Like you can't just be in the bucket truck on a chainsaw in the skid steer, tile in a bathroom.
Yep.
Like part of business is actually doing business things.
Yep.
So you can A, provide for yourself, B, provide for your family, C, provide for your employees if you have
Yep.
them. And it's like I honestly I get pissed. Like it's unethical in my opinion
Mm-hmm.
to not be doing business things.
Yes.
Like
Yep.
you're jeopardizing your employees' families' lives.
Yep.
Like it's just not a noble
Yeah. It's
thing.
true.
It's not a noble thing to not want to go get help, and not even us. Like just
Yeah.
at least please like watch some YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
read some books, listen to some podcasts. Try to do something to better yourself because you're just going to stay at the exact same level. Like imagine as like an installer or a tree guy, like if you only ever do small arborvitaes you take
Yeah.
down, you're not
Yeah.
really a tree guy.
Yeah.
Eventually you're going to need to get some help to do a bigger job with the crane or
Mm-hmm.
do something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a tree
Yeah.
guy,
Yeah. Yeah.
climb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you never push yourself out of the comfort zone, you never ask for help, you never learn, you're not going to progress and you're not going to progress as a business
Yep.
owner. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, it's so true, and I've found it very helpful to, I'm really transparent with my employees, and they all understand where I want to take it and how they can help take it there. And
How do you do that?
so they know, I kind of what I tell people, I mean, this is kind of advice that I give beyond just from a business owner to their employees is kind of just like over communicate those things. I literally tell them, you guys, I want to overpay you by a lot in 2 years. But in order for us to get to that point, there are things that need to continue to evolve and change. Part of that is you guys continuing to get better at your craft and XYZ, but I have to work on the business if we're going to get to a point where every single one of our families are flourishing because the business is flourishing.
And I think that is something that's very lost in the first couple of years or eventually or for sure underneath a million
Mhm.
is they always say like I can't get my employees to understand. They're pissed when I'm off a job site. They think I'm not helping. And I think there's a big difference in the guy that's not on a job site or the guy that when he is on a job site, he's just yelling,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Like, do this, you're not doing this right.
Yep.
There's a big difference between the entrepreneur that when they're there, they pick up a shovel, they pick up a chainsaw, they're willing
Yep.
to go sweep the damn street.
If I'm there, I'm there. Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
And you're willing to put in whatever work and they're gonna
Mhm.
see that and they're gonna feel like, hey, he's with us, he's
Yep.
not above us.
Yep.
And then also I think a lot of people too, like what they'll do is when they start to make more, for example, right? I'll give a personal example because like it's
Yeah.
public kind of what we
Yeah.
make.
Yeah.
When I start to make more, what I do is I buy more stuff for the company
Yeah.
and put back into the people that we have
Yep.
and they get bonuses quarterly and things like that happen. You don't see me going on a vacation every week, even though I could. I could be
Mhm.
gone Thursday to
For
Friday the
sure.
way my business is set up every single week and we'd
For
still be
sure.
fine.
Yep.
But and I think that's a good lesson for a guy that's at 500K, a mil. You're starting to maybe make money that you've never had before.
Mhm.
And I think that's like a blessing and a curse.
Mhm.
Like the curse part of it is you start to have actual money.
Yeah.
And that could be corrupting
And freedom. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you can start to go, hey, I'm going to start sleeping in. I'm
Mhm.
not going to start showing up when my guys need me. I'm going to be
Yep.
slower to communicate because I'm on vacation. I'm going to buy a nicer car while my people don't even have boots.
Yep.
Like, that is not a noble
Yeah.
leader
For
or a
sure.
good businessman.
For
Like,
sure.
that's not what you're here to do.
For sure.
And it's wild because I do think it's like, let's talk about this. Like, you did archery work
Mhm.
outside. I'm pretty sure you're at like a family
Yeah.
vacation, which is awesome. You
Yeah.
should take a vacation now
Yeah.
and then.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
Yep.
But your people came,
Mhm.
they executed the project, and you got paid.
Yep.
I don't think a lot of people have ever had that feeling.
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about like,
Hmm.
because I don't assume that was possible like last year.
Yeah.
Talk to me about
Right.
that and how good it feels and how you got there.
Yeah. The feeling of being able to essentially for your business to make money without you, there's for sure just like this unlock of like, okay, what's possible? Even if it's like, okay, when I'm not on site, it's not the highest revenue days, but we can make money while I'm working on the business and generating lead flow and doing things in addition to just the work. It's like, okay, completely opens the door to what is possible for a
It's like a
business,
light bulb moment.
and it's empowering your people. It's like you get to not only give them opportunity, but you get to like affirm and encourage,
Build them up.
build them up, going like, you guys killed it. You knocked it out of the park, and I was never there. I never even saw the trees in person, but you did everything. You cleaned everything up. Everybody was happy. Client is paid, and I was never on site. And rewarding them for that, you know?
Which is super cool because then you actually have a business.
Yeah.
You don't have a high paying job, which is a lot of these people playing business. And I get it. It takes a long time to get there, right? I'm not discouraging the people that are there, but like it is going to take you learning some things and moving a little differently and trying to improve yourself. And
Yep.
again, like coming back to like with what we do, and that's not even saying pay us. That's just saying in general,
Yeah.
like take it on upon you as a man to improve.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
there is free information
Yeah.
out there and people just do nothing. They
Yeah.
just complain. Their
Yeah.
market, their guys suck, all this stuff. Like what allowed you to go from when you were probably at 2 or 300K having to be there to being able to get to 6? And I'm sure you have belief that you're probably going to get to a lot bigger than that now if I had to guess. What has been like the unlock to get to that level?
Yeah. I think it's a combination, again, comes back to people. It's like that there's like one specific hire for us, which is my crew lead, that, you know, like for tree work specifically, it's like, can you get somebody that you can trust to like do the actual cutting of the trees? Because that's a high liability thing to do. You're cutting trees over houses, on people's properties, all that kind of thing. So that unlock, and then honestly, just like understanding how to leverage in an honest way, like your brand and your reviews and all of that kind of stuff. It's like we've won, you know, a large handful of jobs just in the last number of months that we were not the cheapest, and they tell me, I want to go with you, but these people are X amount cheaper. And I tell them genuinely, I obviously I'm not like lying about these companies, but I go, hey, I'll take a look at the quote and I'll check them out online. And there was one, you know, the other company had 16 reviews and a 4-star rating. And I said, hey, they might do a great job for you, but they have a 4-star rating out of 16 reviews. And essentially with us, you're paying $1,000 more, but you can have peace of mind because you know we're going to do it right. And he signed an hour later, you know?
And I think that comes from A, obviously building the brand correctly, B, having the confidence of that, like your own brand backing you. Like
Yeah.
I assume you probably have more confidence as an entrepreneur with the business you've now built.
For sure.
Like even just with us, right?
Yep.
Like the level we're at now, I have more conviction and confidence in the product we're delivering than I did at the start 2 years ago because we have the proof to back it up and the brand to back it up. So
Yeah.
you start to become a different entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And the craziest part too, like, you know, I know you're a man of faith, and that's a strong part of your life. Like some people be like, well, I don't want to rip people off and charge more. Sometimes to do the best job, to deliver to the client and to deliver to your employees and to deliver to the community,
Yeah.
you have to charge more than the cheapest guy.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
not a ripoff.
Yeah.
As long as you are providing them with the service that they want,
Yep.
you are open and honest about the price before
Yep.
they sign a dotted line.
Yep.
That is an ethical and a noble way to conduct business.
Yeah.
Now, if you gave Kathy a bid for $4,000 and then you're halfway up there and you're like, yo, it's gonna be 6. I didn't figure this into my bid.
Yeah.
That's a piece of shit.
Right.
You suck.
Right.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of the trades.
Yep.
But if you're telling Kathy up front it's 6 and here's why it's 6 and here's all the legwork, the effort, the energy that we've put in to be able to charge you 6, it's her decision if she wants to go with you or somebody else.
For sure.
And we also teach that, and I know you know this,
Yeah.
but like be open and honest with the client. Hey,
Yep.
we're not going to be the cheapest, but here's the value that we're going to provide.
Yep.
And if you truly believe that you are as good of an entrepreneur as you think you are, and you provide the service that you think you do,
Yep.
again, unethical to not promote your brand and your service, to save her from the cheaper hack guy that's gonna
Yeah.
drop a tree on her house.
Yeah. For sure.
It's
For
wild.
sure.
It's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else to add to just like the growth, like in such a short amount of time, going to where you've been? And I think you've done it well, to be honest with you. From the outside, I mean, we work with
Mhm.
1,500 businesses.
Yeah.
You're doing it pretty well. If you're already able to take a step off the job site, it means you have good people in place.
Yeah.
How do you get those good people?
Yeah. For me, honestly, a lot of my connections have come through my network within my like faith community. And what's funny is really it's exactly in parallel with what you guys encourage people to do, which is to hire for character and
Not for skill
not
set.
for skill set. And it's really the same thing for us. It's like I'm looking for people that are it's like, okay, if they've done tree work and they're experienced and they carry all of these things, that's like huge bonus, pot of gold, amazing. But I'm hiring for people that have high character, people that are going to show up on time, people that are going to work hard, and people that are teachable. It's like if you carry those things, and you have any desire to learn what we do, then it's probably going to work out well, you know?
Yeah, I always like for myself, I'm okay with them unless they need like a certain certification, right? Or they
Hmm.
need something like that, and we're in
Hmm.
a crazy trade like that where they
Yeah.
need that license.
Yeah.
Like outside of those trades, it comes back to like, are you a good human being?
Hmm.
Are you willing to work? Are you willing to be teachable? Are you willing to show up on time?
Yeah.
Those are the things I can't force upon you.
Yeah.
You're your own man. I can't force that.
Yeah.
I could teach you how to lay a paver or cut a tree,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Like they're gonna
Hmm.
learn
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah.
So like that's actually interesting too with you. You should hear all the tree guys that we hear say,
Hmm.
"Oh, my trade is different.
Yeah.
I can't find any labor.
Hmm.
You don't get it. You're not
Yeah.
a tree guy."
Yeah.
What would you say about that?
I mean, it's like if you're that close-minded about that, there's kind of bigger hurdles that you have to like get over. And that's really true with anything, it's like as a business owner, if you're going to succeed long term, you just have to have an open mind about continuing to evolve and continuing to be better at whatever you're doing, and never assuming that uh, that you have the biggest problems, and never assuming that the way that you do it is the best way to do it. One thing I've learned through the trades that I've done, whether it's welding, whether it's tree work, whatever it is, all of the best people that are on social media, like that have the greatest amount of influence, all of those people are always talking about how they're still learning and still getting better and still even learning from people that haven't been doing it as long as them. And it's like if you're so close-minded to say, for me, it's different than these other 600 people that are in um, you need to get over the hurdle that maybe there's a way
There is a way. There's always
that
a way.
that is not the way that you're doing it, and
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the the limiting beliefs, which we don't really touch on in the group, really, I like to give X's and O's, so it's like
Hmm.
real tangible advice.
Yep.
But it really all starts there. Like people complain about their market being too competitive, their trade being different, them not being able to find labor. And a lot of times they just need to look within and go like, am I showing up late? Am I communicating with my people? Am I delivering a 10-star service every single time with the client? I mean, if you're not doing those things, it doesn't matter what gimmick or
Yeah.
wizardry you try to buy or get rich quick you try to do,
Yep.
you'll never come out on top.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
and Dave had a conversation about that too,
Yeah.
about being a good human being
Yeah.
and how I think that in the next 10 years, the people like yourself will win very large
Yeah.
because that is what the marketplace needs. Even just like business used to be like you would help a neighbor out, you do things for people.
Yeah.
And now it's like hoard all the money, only give it to the Google and
Yeah.
YouTube
Yeah.
or Meta
Yeah. Yeah.
overlords. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, you could just actually like invest into your actual local community where you're running your business
Yeah.
and it will be returned 10 times over.
Yeah.
And then you can do awesome stuff for your community when you have money and you
Yeah.
can afford to pay people a
For
livable
sure.
wage.
For sure.
And then you get the people that the guy that's sitting over there goes, I can't get those people. I can't afford to pay that price.
Hmm.
Well, that's why you should build a brand and get
Right.
leads
Right.
so you can afford to charge the price to get the right people so you
Yeah.
don't just get stuck in this
Yeah.
never-ending loop.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Which reminds me, of what you mentioned just a few minutes ago of a reservation that maybe some people who are Christians have with like charging a larger amount of money. First off, agree, it's a free market. Nobody has to hire you.
Yep.
But the that's kind of a one-dimensional way to look at it as like, well, I have to be the cheapest for the client. But the other way to look at it, is my employees are also believers. Well, I want them to not be poor.
They need to be able to live a
They
life.
need to be able to live a life, and that's going to happen through us providing all of the things of excellent work, of treating people well, all those things. Therefore, we can charge that higher dollar amount and in turn treat people well that we're around most. It's like, um, it's so true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also wild too because in my opinion, if you look at all marketplaces like as a whole, let's give an example of a truck, right? There is a $120,000 F-350 Platinum right off the lot, fully loaded, and there's an F-350 XLT that's 50 grand cheaper.
Yep.
You don't see people saying Ford is scamming people.
Right.
There's also a $1, $2 McDonald's. I haven't been to McDonald's in a long time,
Yeah.
but I don't even know what it is. Maybe it's $3 now. They used to have a dollar menu.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
they still have that? Do you
I
know?
don't think so.
Okay, they used to.
Well, I don't know.
Okay,
I don't go
let's just
there.
hypothetically, there's $3 McChicken, and there's a $13 chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
There's a $5 burger. There's a $30 burger.
Yeah.
I happily go eat the $30 burger from time to time,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what is that, a 4x in price?
Right.
That's actually one way that we've been teaching our people to talk to clients,
Yeah.
right? Like, let's say you're $10,000 for this tree job.
Mm-hmm.
The competition is 8.
Mm-hmm.
You are only 20% higher than the competition.
Right.
And I can guarantee you your brand, the people you know,
Yep.
the stamps of approval you have, the testimonials,
Yep.
outweighs that 20% price jump.
Yeah.
That would be like going to a boutique mom and pop coffee shop and being like, I can go to McDonald's and get a coffee for $1.25.
Yeah, for
Why
sure.
is yours 8?
For sure.
That's a 5 or 6x increase in
Mhm,
price, and people
mhm.
still gladly pay that.
Yeah.
So you got to get out of your own damn head that
Yeah.
you can't be 20% more expensive if you're delivering that superior product.
Yep.
It's crazy.
For sure.
All right,
For
I
sure.
got one more question for you, and then
Yeah.
anything else you want to add.
Yeah.
So you being Christian,
Yeah.
what is your opinion on me? Because I swear, and I'm a little aggressive.
Yeah.
What did you have any reservation like to join what we do? And again, this is not a ploy to get you to join our stuff. We're all
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Go look on YouTube,
Yeah.
use our free stuff first. I just actually want to hear your actual honest thoughts because
Yeah.
I know you're pretty.
Yeah, for sure. I personally had no reservations. Number one, like I said, I've been in the trades since I was 13 years
You've
old.
probably heard a lot worse.
It wasn't anything new to me. And number two, what I've actually found to be interesting and more reason to stay with you is, like I've said, what you're encouraging people to do is do excellent work and be honest. You're encouraging people to hire for character. You encourage people to save money and not spend money. There's a lot of things that you are encouraging people to do that actually line up biblically, to be honest, which is there's more in the Bible about business than a lot of people think. There are businessmen in the Bible, and the Lord cares about business, and he doesn't want us to just be poor and do everything for absolutely dirt cheap. And so you just being who you are, I'm not expecting you to be like me just because I'm like me. That makes no sense. But what you're carrying are things that my values still align with. And even if there was something that I didn't agree with, nobody has to take 100% of what somebody else is giving, but there's still so much value within what you're carrying, what Blue Collar Business Accelerator is carrying. And like you've said multiple times, be a good person, treat people well. It's like you're not trying to get businesses to scam people. We're just trying to take a 20-year process of building trust with communities and people, and we're just trying to do that in a smaller amount of time in a way that's still honest. So for me, there was no reason to really have reservation.
Yeah, thank you. The reason I ask that is because every once in a while we'll get somebody who's pretty religious
Yeah.
that they'll watch like my first or second video where I'm like,
Mhm.
"Hey,
Oh yeah.
you're a pussy if
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
lock in,"
Yeah,
and
for
they get
sure.
real offended at
Yeah,
that. So
for sure.
I had to ask. I was
For sure.
genuinely curious.
For sure.
But yeah, I think what we do, and again, what we're trying to put back into the trades is, I think a lot of people in this space for a long time have needed help on the business side of things, whether they
Mhm.
want to admit it or not.
Mhm.
It'd be like being as arrogant of being like, dude, I'll go cut this tree down. There's
Mhm.
no way you know more than me.
Right. Right. Right.
I'm gonna drop it right on our warehouse
Mhm.
and then I'm gonna be screwed.
Mhm.
Or I could just be like, yeah, what do I do, Noah?
Yeah,
Like, oh, you've done this 100 times.
for sure.
So I think there's been a need in the space, which is why I think we've had such rapid growth because
Yeah.
there's nothing in the space like it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people just think when they're struggling to grow their business, struggling to hire people, or struggling to stay busy, or they're not struggling, because we also have a lot of guys that aren't struggling.
Yeah.
It's just that they want to take the next
Yeah.
step.
For sure.
I think the only place there's been to go in the trades is like an agency that you pay for paid
Yeah.
advertising for.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people that give the actual business advice that we do for as cheap of a price as we do.
Yeah.
Like most consulting or advisory places are like 20, 50, 100 grand, and
For
it's
sure.
only for really rich people. And
Mhm.
we're trying to bring that in
Yeah.
like a fractional setting to the trades to help
Yeah.
a bunch of great human
Yeah.
beings out
Yeah.
to do good for their
Yeah.
communities
For sure.
because nobody's doing it.
For sure.
And you should be the person to
Yeah.
lead in your
Yeah.
community.
Yep. For
Anything
sure.
else you want to add at all?
Um, the two things I think I'd mention as just like I was thinking about on the way here. Not only, well, I'll start with this actually. What you
He's
don't
fine.
okay. Um, what I think is so great about BCBA is I would say like high 90s percentage of business owners are visionaries, meaning I know what I want things to look like in 5 years, but most of us have no idea how to get there. And what has been great for me, and that's me to a T, I'm like, I know exactly what I want the trucks to be. I know what they want to look like. I know how I want my employees to be on all the things. I know exactly what I want it to look like. I didn't know how to get there. And it's beyond just leads. It's obviously building the brand, it's how to hire, it's how to scale, so much more all encompassing. And so it's given me what I think the most valuable thing for me is it's giving me concrete, tangible to-dos to get it to where I want to get it. When, last year, before I joined, it's like, okay, you're in a slow season. It's kind of like, I guess I'm just gonna wait until, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
And I'm
do.
like, I know I should be doing something, but I don't know what that is.
And it's just there's so much to do. Like with YouTube, ChatGPT, it's like information overload,
Yeah,
right? Like you could just go on Google and find 800 different videos,
yeah,
but who do you trust? In what order do you trust the
yeah,
person? What do you do first? What do you do based on your exact situation
yeah,
with how much money is in the bank, where your brand is at? And that's where we help with
yeah,
that.
for sure.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that is like a no-brainer, especially at the cost that you guys are doing it, he didn't ask me to say this, is the built-in referral network
Yeah.
of BCBA. So I got a referral from a landscaper. It was like a $3,000 job, nothing crazy. Well, that $3,000 job, she referred me to her dad, and that was a number of months ago. Well, I've done $19,000 in work for him in 3 days. 3 days work for 19 grand from one referral that came from a guy in this group, and that's not mentioning the others that I've gotten. So you want to talk about the return,
That's already a 2 or 3x what you put in the last year.
which isn't counting the leads that I've gotten from the other things that we've done on social media. It's not counting the jobs we've won because of the social proof. It's like having a built-in referral network, is in itself hard to put a number on.
And we have
So
760 guys across all the states,
yeah,
so it's getting pretty big.
yeah,
And on top of that, you take the skills with you forever,
yeah,
which I think is the coolest
yeah,
part.
yeah.
You
So
stop paying an ad agency, you're screwed.
yeah,
They go, get out of here.
yeah. to building a
Stop paying
business.
us, you still understand. You go start a welding company, you'd
Hmm.
be solid.
Yep.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Appreciate you.